We're here to discuss the idea of how you can attract more money into your life by whatever methodology you so desire. Now, yes, as a very brief recap, yes, it is for the most part based on the idea of following your joy. Absolutely, because that is fundamentally who you are. Your excitement, your vibration is who you are. By acting on your joy, it is far more likely that you're going to put yourself in the proper place and time to see the opportunities that can allow you to act upon them to bring you more money in your life. Please do remember, and we will get into this in another way, in a new way in a moment, but please do remember that abundance really is only the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. It can be money. It doesn't have to be money, but it can be money, and because that is the subject of this discussion, we will focus on that. Now, what we are really saying here, in terms of giving you more of an opportunity to attract more money in your life, is we are helping in this discussion to uncover and to clarify your relationship to money and abundance. Your relationship to money and abundance. Because that is all it takes. That's all that's required to allow money to come pouring in rivers, in waterfalls into your life. Because the universe is abundant. Your planet has all the money it needs for every single one of the individuals that we are talking to now in this gathering, and many, 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 many more to become what you call millionaires. More than enough for that. Remember, one of the reasons that is so is that not everyone needs or wants to really be a millionaire. So the idea is that for everyone that is truly excited and attracted to that experience, there is enough for you to become a multi-millionaire. There is. After all, you create the idea of money. You can create what you need. Not saying that you should run out and print it. We understand your laws frown on that. But you can create what you need. You can attract what you need in your life regarding as much money as you have ever dreamed of. One of the things that we have said that does go hand in hand with this, of course, is the degree of your activity, the degree to which you put out that you exist on a level that is commensurate with receiving a lot of money in return. For individuals who are simply limiting themselves in certain ways are actually giving off a message that they don't really want or need that much money. But by expanding your expression of self, you give off more of a signal to reality, to the mirror of the universe, that money can be reflected in the degree of expansion you are willing to provide, you are willing to exhibit.
Thank you for just everything. I'm very appreciative, and I just want to thank you from my heart.
If you are appreciative, then we would suggest that you appreciate yourself that much more. All right?
Thank you.
It is no accident in your language that you use the same term for money as you do for self-worth, appreciation. You want to appreciate yourself, then you will grow with interest. Depreciate yourself, and you will be bankrupt. Look at the analogies you have set up in your own language as reflections. Yes?
Yes.
So, appreciate yourself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And may I ask about the little hybrid babies?
Nope.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Remember, your beliefs, your definitions, are what create your reality. Now, one of the things we have said is the idea that you are raised with a number of conflicting ideas about money. One of the ones we have given you already is that when you are growing up, most people, especially in your culture, will say, in order to be successful, in order to be looked at as successful, in order to be considered successful, you must make a lot of money. And again, in the next breath, in the other ear, they say, but money is the root of all evil. That means if you become successful, you are going to be evil. You really do take these concepts to heart. You really do. And when you do, you create this conflict within yourself, this battle, this war within yourselves that doesn't allow you to move ahead. And it sours your relationship to money. And it builds tension and stress within your body because you are literally tearing yourself apart. I want to be successful. I want a lot of money. I will be the devil himself if I become rich. What am I to do? What am I to do? As we have discussed, the idea is to get in touch, of course, with those definitions and clarify them so that you understand that these are not things you must believe in. That you don't have to connect the idea of being a bad person, of being evil, so to speak, with the idea of having money. You don't have to believe that absolute power corrupts absolutely, because it only does when you absolutely believe that it does. That's the point. You need to find your definitions and weed them out, lay them out clearly, separate them out clearly, disentangle them from one another clearly, so that you can understand what you are dealing with, what you have to work with.
I have been doing stock options trading for 10 years plus.
Oh, all right. This excites you?
It does, but it hasn't served me.
It hasn't served you?
No, because I lose more money than I make.
Then it has served you. It has served you very well. Maybe it's serving you by telling you maybe this isn't the way to go for you.
Yes, but
maybe you need to put more stock in yourself.
Why would an intelligent person like me keep doing it for like 10 years?
That's a very intelligent question.
But it still excites me. And I'm trying to follow my excitement.
Are you sure it's really excitement? That's the first thing to always check. Are you actually acting on excitement, or are you actually acting out of anxiety and calling it excitement in a state of denial? Because you might be afraid to actually do the thing that really excites you because you have a definition that it can't support you somehow? Just a question. But you can think about that for a moment.
Yes, perhaps.
Yes, perhaps. All right. Let me put it to you this way. If it wasn't an issue of how it could be helped to happen, what would you rather be doing if you could do anything?
I would like to awaken people to their own health, because I'm always telling families and friends. And
are you saying that that's really exciting for you?
That is really exciting for me.
Is it more exciting than investing in stocks?
Well, stocks has a different kind of excitement.
I understand, but I'm asking you a question right now.
Is it more exciting?
Right now, is that idea, if you knew you could do it, that's more exciting?
Yes.
All right. So what can you do to invest in that first? Because if the stocks actually are representative of one of your expressions of real excitement, the only way you're going to allow it to synchronize and harmonize in a way that really serves you in your life is to act on the thing that excites you the most first and allow that to be the driving engine and the organizing principle of every other expression of excitement that will then automatically play out through synchronicity in your life to show you what you need to do, in what order, and when. This is how you understand how to use excitement, because it is, as we have said many times, a complete kit. It has all the tools you need. It has the driving engine that moves you forward. It has the organizing principle that brings you the synchronicity. It is the path of least resistance. It is the path that connects you to all other forms of excitement in your life. It is the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything that's out of alignment with your excitement so that you can identify it and let it go and add that energy to your excitement. It leaves absolutely nothing relevant out of your life. But the only way it really works in the way that you would prefer it to is by activating it, by acting on the thing that excites you the most to the best of your ability first, with no insistence on a particular outcome. That's how the formula activates the kit. So if you act on the thing that excites you the most first to the best that you are able to, until you can take it no further, and then look for the next option, and act on whichever one contains even just a little bit more excitement than any other option, no matter what it is, no matter how simple it seems, no matter how basic, no matter how mundane it may seem, if it contains even just a little bit more excitement than any other option at that moment, that's your synchronicity, that's your higher mind saying this is the thing to do next. If investing in stocks is in the mix somewhere of what really represents one expression of your excitement, it will be put into the mix in the proper order. Synchronicity will organize it to let you know when it is actually the appropriate time to act on that expression of your excitement as opposed to any other. If it never shows up, that's not what serves you. Are you beginning to understand how this machine works?
Yes, what I'm hearing is acting on your most excitement right now.
To the best of your ability.
To the best of your ability.
With zero insistence on a particular outcome. I know that that's a challenge for a lot of you. Zero insistence on a specific outcome. Do you understand why that's important?
Because your higher self is going to show you what you can't see in this form.
Exactly, and the physical mind can't always tell what that's going to be. But it will always be what's actually best for you. So the idea of having an image, a symbol, a goal, whatever you want to call it, a visualization, that's fine. But you use that to instill the state of being of excitement within you, because you get excited when you think about that goal, when you have that idea, when you see that visualization, it gets you excited. Oh yes, this is the best thing that could possibly happen. This is the best outcome I can imagine. That's fine. But once you get all excited about what it is you're seeing or thinking about, drop the goal, drop the vision utterly. Let it go, because you don't actually know if that representation is the best possible representation of that level of excitement. But your higher mind does know what the best representation is. And if you make space by dropping that picture, then you will allow the higher mind to fill that space with what really needs to be there. And in fact, if you understand that the physical mind has its limitations, then you will know that what the physical mind might think or believe to be the ideal outcome may actually be a limitation on the ideal outcome. So why would you prefer that? Does this make sense?
Yes, because, probably like most people, I bought into the idea 10 years ago when I wanted to do this as a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
To be with my children, and then I got in a habit of doing it. But I was putting forth from my physical mind to say, well, if I can make X amount of dollars, then I can do all this other stuff.
Making a lot of dollars doesn't always make the most sense. Do you understand? Because abundance is simply the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it.
I've heard you say that, yes.
All right. Well, if you've heard it, maybe you want to start practicing it. Because the idea is, it doesn't mean that you can't attract money into your life. That's one legitimate representation of abundance on your planet. It's a symbol of abundance. But that's all it is. It's a symbol, one symbol. If someone comes along and gives you something that allows you to do what you need to do, that's also a symbol of abundance. So if you know that it would be easier, the path of least resistance, for someone to actually come along and say, hey, you know what, I don't need this anymore, maybe you can use it, and it's exactly what you needed, would you actually put your foot down and say, no, thank you, I'm going to wait until I make enough money to get that. I'm not going to take it from you as a gift. Would you do that? Of course not. Do you understand?
Yes, there's more than one path to.
And when you focus only on one representation of abundance, you actually close the doors through which other forms can come.
I think that's what I've been doing.
I know. That's why I said what you need to be investing in is your own stock. So take stock of what your beliefs are and invest in yourself so that you can appreciate yourself more. Yes?
Yes.
And when you appreciate yourself fully, you will be rich beyond your wildest dreams in more ways than you can imagine, because you already are abundant. You all are already fully abundant. The issue is not learning to be abundant. The issue is learning what to be abundant in. Because you are always abundant in something, even if it's an abundance of lack. You cannot lack abundance, but you can have an abundance of lack. So if you don't prefer an abundance of lack, choose a different form of abundance.
Did you all bring your coins? Is there anyone who doesn't have a coin? All right. Now, remember that we suggested that it be, in your terms, a real coin. It is all well and good for you to be creative and make up coins or draw pictures of them, but we are now, in this exercise, talking about the idea of real money, in your terms. Would you rather have real money, or would you rather have an abundance of paper coins? All right. Get out your coins as you have chosen them. It doesn't matter whether they are pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces, dollar coins of any kind. It doesn't matter. Make sure it's a coin you believe is a real spendable coin. More than likely, I will leave this up to you, but more than likely you may want it to be a denomination from your own culture, so that you really feel you understand what you consider the value of that coin to be, rather than working from something that comes from another country on your planet. So, have you all got your coins? All right. Now, we're going to play a little game of exchange in the following way. I want one volunteer that has a penny. Who's got a penny? All right, stand up. I want one volunteer that has $1. All right, stand up. All right, now, I'm going to ask a question. Both of you, in whatever order, do you have a favorite candy? Do you have a favorite candy? Chocolate. All right, chocolate. Chocolate. You have a favorite candy? Both say chocolate. All right. All right. Now, person who has the penny, person who has the $1, all right. Exchange. Have you exchanged? Have you exchanged?
Yes, we have.
All right, now you have the penny?
Yes.
And you have the $1? Yes? Yes or no, do you?
Yes, $1.
Oh, all right. Are you sure?
I think $1, yes.
All right, thank you. All right. But it is $1, yes?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, now, who got the best of that deal? Well, it might depend on a lot of things, but in general, your society would think what?
I scored.
You scored. All right. And you?
I lost.
All right. You lost. Now, you with the $1. Hello?
Yeah.
Thank you. You have now come upon a vending machine containing your favorite candy.
Oh, boy.
The vending machine is one of those nice, charming little glass bubble jobs. It only takes pennies.
Oh, no.
Now how valuable is that penny to you? How valuable all of a sudden is that penny?
Can we trade?
Go ahead.
I don't know. It might be worth about $1.
Trade them back. Do you get the point?
I got it.
Relative value is not just the idea of what monetary value you have given to the coin, but what its value is to you at any given moment in any given situation. You can be walking down the street and you see that wonderful, delicious chocolate in that machine, and your pocket is full of dollars, and you need a penny. Now how rich are you? Not very. Not as rich as the person with the penny who can waltz right up to the machine and plunk it in and get that delicious chocolate. Because the person with the penny now has the ability to do what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. And you don't. You have to go find someone to change the dollar. You go through a process, all well and good, but the point is already made, is it not? All right. I want you to look at the coin you have brought. You may sit down and relax if you are not already doing so. I want you to look at the coin you have brought. I want you to understand as you look at it that you are really, truly, truly developing a relationship with this coin. You're going to marry this coin. Yes, marry this coin. Every single one of you. So I would suggest that if it's not the coin you want to marry, you better get another coin out right now. However, remember what we just did. Remember what we just did in the lesson that was learned. Don't think, oh, I've got a penny, I better trade it for $1 quick. If you chose the penny, maybe there was a good reason for that, and maybe your imagination is saying it will work for you, and it actually is the perfect marriage for what you need in terms of discovering your relationship to money. It has nothing at all to do with the idea that that means you're only going to be getting pennies for the rest of your life. You can get dollars, you can get millions of them. But understand that this is about the relationship to money. And if you find that it feels better emotionally in your heart to marry the coin in your hand and not judge it by its so-called value, which we have just proven worthless in certain circumstances, then maybe you will let go for the moment of the idea of the arbitrary value and begin the true relationship to find the real value of money to you. The real value from your heart, not your head.
Recently, I heard about you following, mention about following your heart.
Yes.
And recently, I met somebody that has challenged me the way I love, meaning that I really love this person.
Yes.
And I want to go visit her in Canada.
All right, goodbye.
But it seems that I always keep bringing this idea.
Why are you still standing here?
Money.
Money?
Yeah, I feel.
You think money's the only way to get to Canada?
Well, it seems that I bring that issue a lot, that if I go, I'm going to put myself more in debt.
I see. So you have a belief system that says you are not supported by your reality. And you have a belief or definition about abundance that says money is the only and most likely way that abundance can be represented in your society.
I guess so.
All right. Yeah. Money is perfectly a fine way, and you can attract more if you wish, but there are also other ways to attract abundance, because abundance really is just the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it.
I heard the definition soon, and I was really moved by that.
All right.
Yeah.
In your imagination, just as an exercise, is there some other way you could imagine being able to get to Canada without necessarily having to have as much money as you think?
I believe
just
so.
In your imagination.
Yes.
How? Describe what your imagination has come up with as another possible way to get to Canada without having so much money.
Well, the other possibility was that I had was that that the money will come regardless, because I've been.
That's fine, but I'm not asking you for the other quote unquote practical things that might occur. I'm asking you to use your imagination and come up with a hypothetical idea, an imaginary way that might be possible to go to Canada. Do you want me to start the ball rolling?
Yes.
All right. Let me ask you this question first. Do you love this person?
Well, I recently met her, and she really challenges me the way I want to feel love.
All right. So is the answer yes?
Yes.
Thank you. By the way, just a hint, it might help you if you actually shorten your definitions. All right? Instead of making things so complicated.
Okay.
All right? Now,
If you, oh, well, all right, well, let me ask, do you have a preferred way of getting to Canada in terms of vehicular travel? Can you drive one of your automobiles there?
No.
Why?
My car probably won't make it.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
All right. Can you take a train?
Yes, did they go all the way to Canada?
Would you prefer to take a plane?
Yes, I guess because I don't want to take time from work for too long, which I mean.
Am I asking you for any of this detail in your imaginary scenario?
No.
You see, here's my point, and you're really illustrating it very strongly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you to have an imaginary scenario, and yet, even in your imaginary scenario, you still don't want to take time off from work.
Yeah.
In your imaginary scenario, you don't have that consideration.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yes, I'm following.
All right. So, imagining that you could just get up and go, is a plane your preferred method of travel?
Yes.
All right. Where in Canada is this person?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. All right. So, you are saying you do not have the money to buy a plane ticket to Vancouver?
Yes.
All right. Are you saying you also don't have the time?
Yes.
All right. Would you rather find someone else closer to home that you do have time to see and don't need money to go travel to?
No.
No. All right. That's fine. Just making sure what's going on in your definition. Now then, how much time would you like to spend with her in Vancouver?
A week.
1 week. All right. In your imaginary scenario, is it possible for you to ask for a week off in your work?
Yes.
All right. So that's not a problem, yes?
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh, thank you. Now, can you go to the travel agency and say, this is the money I have. Can you help me get to Vancouver on this much money? Can you do that?
Yes.
Do you believe they will help you with the money you have? Hesitation means no.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you go to the airline and say, my true love is in Vancouver? I can't get there, I don't have the money. Can you please help me get there? Can you do that?
Yes.
Yes. Do you believe that might actually work? No. Do you know that there are people that exist on your planet who do those things and it does work?
Yes.
Why can't you be one of them? That's the question. I'm waiting.
I get it. I get it.
You did
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No expectation, but I am suggesting you give yourself free rein to be a little bit more imaginative in your actual physical approach, not just in your mind,
Yeah.
but in actually doing these silly, crazy things, because that's actually how life works. And by doing that, don't do it with expectation, because it's not that we're saying that those things might be the way you will get there, but just doing that will get you out of your own way, which is the only thing stopping you from going. It'll loosen you up, show you what's possible, and you might be surprised at the responses you will actually get. You follow me?
Yes.
Let yourself be a little bit crazy. Don't worry, in time, everyone else will join you.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've been dreaming various dreams about with everyone in each moment doing the most exciting thing they are capable of doing.
Yes.
And I would like to expand my understanding of the ideas of excitement and motivation.
Yes.
The idea excitement being the physical translation of the vibrational energy that represents the path I've chosen to be.
Yes.
Is that apply like a local law or when you're in physical embodiment, or is, why is that not a fifth universal law?
The idea is simply based on the notion of what you put out is what you get back. That's the third law. What we are simply saying is that the vibration itself is what determines that. And the vibration of your natural state of existence, the first law, is much higher than you think and generally translates in your particular dimension as the sensation of excitement. So this statement is simply a more detailed explanation of some of the principles that go hand in hand with the laws as we have already described them. It's not an additional law, it's an explanation of the characteristics of the laws we have already described.
Understood, yes. And for some people, is it possible that excitement for them is to create pain and anger and separation?
In some senses, yes, and this is why we have said very often that you must pay strict attention to the concept of what it is you are calling excitement. In a sense, it's actually not their excitement, but they, through their motivations and through their fears, may label it as such. And it is up to you to learn through self-honest examination to be able to discern the difference between excitement in that sense and anxiety. Do you follow me?
Yeah, so let me see if I do. If everyone then is in their, what they perceive, the beliefs that they put out, what they perceive to be the most exciting thing they can do, when that is in alignment with their true isness,
yes,
then they will be expressing joy and laughter in that
Yes.
sense.
It is simply the natural state that goes hand in hand with that vibration. There may be, in certain circumstances, a few exceptions, but that will be done for very specific reasons. For the most part, you can be relatively assured that the idea of the generation of pain is not a result of the generation of excitement. It is usually the result of the idea of dampening down the excitement and giving over to fear. Because pain is simply resistance to the natural self.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so then we're motivated to do what we perceive to be will bring us closest to pleasure rather than pain.
As we have described, motivation is a big key in understanding what's going on and whether or not you're actually generating fear or joy, excitement or anxiety, because motivation is the key that underlies knowing the difference. As we have described, as you are pointing out, motivation is simply, again, based on definition. You will do the things you believe and perceive to be more pleasurable and less painful, and you will not do the things you believe and perceive to be more painful and less pleasurable. Now, that's where, shall we say, the trick comes into it. Because when someone is doing something painful, but they say they are following their excitement, what they are not paying attention to is the belief system they have that is attached itself, so to speak, or you have attached it, to the painful act, that is somehow defining the doing of that painful act as actually more pleasurable than what they have defined the alternative to be because of their fear that's attached to that. And that's where I understand it can get a little tricky. But do you understand what I am saying mechanistically?
Yes.
Anything you perceive to be pleasure, you will move toward. Anything you perceive to be pain, you will move away from. But you have to pay attention to how you're defining pleasure and pain.
Yes.
So the idea is that many people will do a painful thing because to them, to follow their true joy might actually in some senses seem to be more painful than the painful thing they're doing. So they'll move away from that. Even though it might actually ultimately give them joy, they don't perceive it in a joyful way because of their definitions of it.
Understood. Thank you.
Yes?
As far as question just got away from me. Come back here.
Oh, there it is. There it goes. Out the door.
Could you give me an idea what percentage of the global population is aware of consciously and capable of sharing the ideas with others of the four universal laws at this time.
Well, they don't all express it in the way that we have, but many have an innate understanding of what we are saying, even though they may use different terminology. You follow me?
Yeah, it's within all of us. I'm just curious in terms of everyone, what's the percentage of people in the population actually are consciously aware of it, and to the point where they could share the ideas, the four laws, with other people. They could write them down.
3%.
3%.
Now, don't get discouraged. Understand, as we have explained before, positive energy is integrative and geometrically expands as compared to negative energy, which segregates. The idea is that you don't need as many people understanding or creating the positive vibration to outbalance the idea of the number of people expressing a negative vibration, because the positive is integrative and geometrically expands, and so it doesn't take as many people in that vibration to equal the power of more people in the negative. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The idea as it's been expressed in your society as a symbol, I'm not saying this is a literal number. The idea as it's been expressed as a symbol, as a metaphor in your society, is the 144,000. The idea is simply that compared to, let's say, 1 million or 2 million or 5 million people, all it takes is 144,000 in the positive to absolutely outweigh the millions in the negative, because the positive is integrative and expands geometrically collectively. And it doesn't take that many to outweigh the negative. So not everyone on your planet has to be looking at a positive thing in order for there to be a lot of positive energy being given to your planet. You follow me?
Yes.
But in the way you asked the question, it's 3%. There is actually a larger percentage of people that are moving in positive directions, but you asked what percentage can actually completely comprehend and state some variation of the four laws, and it's 3%.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I've heard two stories related to Jeshua.
Yeshua, yes.
Yeshua.
Yes.
And Judas.
Yes.
One in which it is said that Judas betrayed Yeshua,
yes,
by turning him over to Pilate. And,
yes.
And the other was in which Yeshua asked Judas to do that.
He didn't ask him to do it. He told him he would do it.
Judas told Yeshua he would do it?
No. Yeshua told Judas he would do it.
And explained to him he would be treated as a betrayer if,
yes,
in doing so.
Yes.
And Judas accepted
yes,
to do that for reasons
with
of his
great
own
pain and anguish, but understood why, and so yes, accepted the role.
And he was perhaps one of the closest friends to Yeshua.
Yes, and that's why he was chosen. Because Yeshua knew he would do it because it needed to be done to illustrate a point.
So in terms of their relationship, they were at complete integrity with each other.
Absolutely.
In this action.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
The story of Gilgamesh, is that related to somebody who actually existed?
It is. Back in the time of the ideas of Enki and the early manifestations of extraterrestrial consciousness and other civilizations upon your planet. It is somewhat amalgamated and jumbled up and has evolved into somewhat of a fable, but nevertheless it is based on some real incidents and real people, even though it has become mostly metaphorical. Yes.
Oh, all right. Does the term Gilgamesh have a translation into English?
Well, yes, one moment. It might be a little bit unusual for your language, as there are idiomatic concepts in a variety of languages that don't translate completely across the board. Gilgamesh is an interesting combination of creator and destroyer simultaneously. That which destroys and creates. That which creates and thus destroys. Does this make any sense in your language?
Yes.
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 All right.
A destroyer and creator. Is it?
Yes, but not necessarily in the way you might think of the concept of destruction.
Destruction for the purposes of higher creation?
Yes. Perhaps in a more technical way of looking at it, you could say a disassembler and reassembler.
For a positive in new creation?
Well, it's somewhat actually neutral.
Neutral.
Even though the universe is slightly biased toward the positive, it's in that balanced point. Because from the universe's perspective, there isn't an agenda in that. It's simply a description of the nature of a particular state of consciousness and a description of what that state of consciousness was designed to do. Be the disassembler and reassembler. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you,
So
Bashar.
Gilgamesh is like a verb, in a sense. It's actually more a verb than a noun. It's a description of a process at the very center of creation.
Yeah.
And it has been used in the past as more of a declaration than a description. When you witness that moment where all polarization comes together in a single moment, where all dichotomy blends together into one, you might call it in one of your languages a gestalt or an aha, but in ancient times, that moment, that experience was a Gilgamesh. Do you understand?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, thank
But
you.
it was with a specific recognition of the specific idea of the destroyer and the creator, of the disassembler and the assembler, blending into one concept. With that revelation came Gilgamesh, the birth of an identity and an entity and a consciousness that represents a very specific state of being in reality on many different levels. Did this translate all right?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Much love, Bashar.
And to you as well.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. I have been realizing that I don't have any excitement left and no passion.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Then why did you come today?
Because when I heard the name Bashar, I went, oh, okay.
So you mean you had some excitement
Yes.
left?
But there,
But you just said you had no excitement. But then all of a sudden you had excitement.
well, that's because you appeared.
Well, but I can't create that in you.
Yes, that's true.
You must have chosen to be excited.
Let me rephrase that then. I really don't seem to have a direction in my life or what I want to do or a passion for anything.
Oh, all right. So what do you want to do about that?
I would like to know how to get the fire back, the passion back.
Why do you want to know that?
Because otherwise there's really no reason for me to be on the planet.
Well, sure there is. Otherwise you wouldn't be. Believe me, this is not a mystery. This is not a mystery. It is not part of the agreement that you can in any way, shape, or form fool. If it is time for you to not be on the planet, all you have to do is lie down, close your eyes, and say, it's time for me to go. If you can open your eyes 10 seconds later, it's not time for you to go, or you would have gone. If you're not gone, it's not time for you to be gone. There is no accident about that. It's a perfect orchestration.
I understand.
So if you're where you are on the planet, there's a reason for it.
Correct.
Now, so what you are saying is you are attempting to figure out or how to invent or realize or recognize that reason or give yourself that reason.
Right.
All right. Now,
Thank you.
the very fact that you are asking for that
Right.
means you have passion, because that's what you're passionate about. Finding that passion. You understand?
Yes.
All right, so you have passion. This is similar to the idea we said before and in another variation where people think, oh, I'm only using 10% of my brain. No, you're using 100% of your brain to make it seem as if you're only using 10% of your brain. You are right now using your passion to make it seem as if you have to discover your passion. And that's exciting because you're putting mystery into it. You're interpreting it with belief systems in a way that makes you experience it lethargically or depressively, but that's what you're actually doing. You are hiding things from yourself and creating a mystery that requires discovery. You're taking yourself on a detective journey to discover your passion. All you need to do is approach this from a more positive point of view with positive definitions, and suddenly you will find that it will not be depressing or sad. It will suddenly be that you are presented with a very interesting mystery to completely redefine yourself from scratch and really find out who you are. This is the task and the challenge you have set for yourself, is to be your own detective novel. And find out who you are, look for the clues, get curious, explore the mystery, see how this goes with that or that goes with this, and why did that happen, and what does that mean, and what meaning am I putting into this? And approach it that way, and you will find that that journey will be very, very engaging indeed. So the approach is really what needs to shift here, not the idea of finding your passion. Your passion is to find yourself through mystery. You just need to change your approach to the idea that that's what you need to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But
It's like I have no drive to do it.
But you don't need drive.
And I resist. I try.
All right, now you're on to something.
Okay.
The resistance tells you that there is energy there. And again, the only reason you're experiencing the energy as resistance is because of the definitions that you have. Do you have any curiosity about yourself at all?
Yes.
What?
The original self. That
The-
I know that I'm
all
much
right.
more than I am.
Then that's all it takes. The curiosity will create the drive. Just maintain the balance in the curiosity energy. Maintain a presence in curiosity to find out who the original you is. That's the detective mystery. You don't need drive. Curiosity will do it. It will bring into your life circumstances that will arouse your curiosity further, and you will then take steps. Don't think about it as needing drive. Just remain curious about who you are as openly as you can, and it will start a momentum rolling. One moment. Is there any place on your planet that you would rather be physically?
I've been asking myself that, and
What has come up? Don't edit it.
okay.
What has come up? Don't put conditions on it. Well, I've been thinking about going there, but I could never do that, or I don't have enough drive to do. Don't edit it.
Okay, Italy.
What? Italy. Why?
It's just the green and the peacefulness of it.
Oh, and it has nothing to do at all with the fact that that country on your planet is primarily known for passion, is it? Where in Italy would you like to go first?
I really don't know. I've just seen videos of the aerial
Yes.
over it, and it's beautifully green and old. And
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So when will you go to Italy? Because you're giving yourself a sign that the vibration that you need to be in is part of the process of truly discovering yourself. Remember, when we talk about the idea of acting on your excitement, it's a whole picture. It's not just what you do, it's also where you do it. That's part of the whole picture. If you are attempting to do your excitement in a place that's not representative of your excitement, you're not doing your excitement. Yeah. So if you know that Italy is a place that represents something that is more you, then by all means, go there. And you will see that something will happen that will help you continue that journey of finding who you are. So when will you go to Italy?
I have no idea.
When will you go?
I don't know.
Do you want to go?
Yes.
Well, are you willing to allow your life to synchronistically show you that you can go?
Yes,
All right, that's a start.
that was a struggle.
Be willing to allow into your life something to come in that will show you you can easily get there. Don't put any assumptions or expectations on how people tell you are the only ways you can possibly get there. Well, you have to have this, and you have to have that, and you have to have this. There are people sitting in the room with you right now that never let anything like logic stop them. They simply allow themselves to know that they can put it out, that that's what they desire, and they then get other people to respond in a way that supports that dream. So just put it out that that's where you want to go. In all the ways that you can, share that information with people as you have done here today. Act on whatever opportunities may present themselves that carry at least some degree of, if not excitement, at least curiosity. You can start that as a form of baby excitement. Follow it, act on it, see where it leads. It will probably lead you very quickly to Italy. Don't assume you cannot get there. Because if that's what's enticing you, if that's what's calling you, the call lets you know you will get there if you simply move in the direction that presents itself. All right?
Yes,
Does that help you?
yes.
All right. And anything else?
Is where I belong in this earth.
Do you mean the physical location again? Or your place
Yes,
as a person?
yes.
Wherever you want. However you want. You belong or you wouldn't be.
I understand that.
But what is it that makes you sad?
I don't feel like belong anywhere.
Anywhere at all?
Right.
All right. Now, you understand, we have said that if you have the feeling that you don't belong, then you have the belief that you don't.
Yes.
Where did that belief come from? Who did it come from? Did it come from your mother? Did it come from your father?
I haven't gone into that one yet.
Perhaps
I don't know the answer.
you ought to.
Okay.
Find someone who can assist you to find out who fed you the belief that you don't belong anywhere. When you begin that journey, you will realize it's just a belief you've been fed and it's a belief you swallowed.
Right.
It's time to let it out.
Right.
Because it's not empirically true. Because if it was, believe me, you wouldn't be here. You couldn't be.
I understand that. But
I know you say you understand it, but what you need to do is understand
Right.
it.
I understand.
And so, find out where the belief comes from. If you understand that your feeling stems from a belief, find out where the belief came from so that you can deal with it. All right?
Yes.
I'm not saying it will be easy, but begin that journey. And more quickly than you can possibly imagine, you may find yourself standing on the shores of Italy.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
In all ways, both literal and metaphorical, because that's where you belong. All right?
Thank you.
And again, remember, you're not alone. There are many who are helping you, whether you know it or not. So, find out. All right?
Thank you.
Begin your journey this way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. You once spoke about how the Bible had a lot of the stories of Atlantis. And I was wondering if you could potentially elaborate a little bit on which part of that.
The flood.
Yeah.
The flood is the story of the destruction of Atlantis.
Okay, the flood, primarily.
Yes, because the asteroidal or cometary body that slammed into what you call the Atlantic Ocean created great tsunamis that wiped out Atlantis, but also affected many other parts of the nearby land masses. such as your North and Central South America, your Africa, Mediterranean, and European coastlines, and Middle Eastern. So therefore, the idea of the story of the flood is a racial memory of the destruction caused by the tsunamis from that impact in your ocean.
Awesome. And how many ancient cultures were given the information of the things from that time to our prehistory of the precession of the equinox and the coming of the golden age?
Given by Atlantean survivors, you mean?
Yes.
Well, Egypt obviously was given information. Many places in Europe were. The British Isles were given a lot of that information. Some information was also spread back into the North, Central, and South American continents. And the idea of it stretching all the way into your Asiatic continents, the buildings of certain structures, such as pyramids around your world, and so on and so forth, certain kinds of temples that align with the idea of stellar phenomenology, are in general representative of some of the ancient knowledge that the survivors of Atlantis spread around the world to help people understand that these things do happen, that these cycles can reoccur, and to prevent such destruction from happening again if possible.
Excellent. And are these beings, did they achieve immortality?
Are you talking about Atlanteans?
The Atlantean priesthood.
Physical immortality? No.
No. Okay.
No.
Got it. So, but in spirit, those beings are still connected very strongly to the Earth sphere.
Of course. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them have gone on to other things. But it will always remain as part of them, because any experience always remains as a part of you, no matter what state you're in, physical or non-physical. It's a part of who you are.
That's beautiful. And I have a question about the Ark of the Covenant in
Yes.
the same proportions of the coffer and the Great Pyramid. Were those the same dimensions?
There are relationships between them. They're not absolutely the same dimensions, but there are similarities in ratios that work in both of them.
Got it. Because you once talked about the coffer and the Great Pyramid being a certain
Yes.
dimension with the granite, so you could.
Yes. So it's more about the idea of resonant ratios than it is actual physical dimensions. It's more like scaling something up or down, but making sure that they still contain the same energetic ratios.
Okay, cool. And they were used for different purposes.
Yes, it can be.
Yes, well, the Ark of the Covenant was more of a step-down transformer of energy for what?
For a variety of purposes, yes. For communication, for energy release, for providing certain kinds of vibrational states, different applications for different needs at different times. It could be adjusted.
Okay. Is it true that, like in the movie we have of Indiana Jones, where the Ark of the Covenant was talked about how it could be used for malicious purposes as well, or purposes in the wrong hands?
It could. It could. Again, like any device, like any equipment, it can be used for positive or negative reasons.
Yes. Was this a standard part of technology in the Atlantean civilization that was given to Egypt?
Again, the basic premises were understood in Atlantis, but it wasn't exactly used in the same way. It's all about resonance. It's all about frequency. It's all about ratios and proportions and relations between them. So the basic concepts were understood, but they weren't used quite in the same way.
Okay, how would they be used different?
In Atlantean times, the vibrational resonances that existed in the Ark were used for the propagation of light and energy.
Okay, because this had to do with more of their crystal technology in those days?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. And an important question I have to ask, which is um, going around a lot right now in the New Agey community, is this big shift of integrity and people working through all sorts of different things.
Yes.
But I feel a huge misunderstanding in the New Agey community is people misunderstanding the idea of right and wrong, how you speak about it.
Yes.
You know, because I know you are talking about positive energy and negative energy,
Yes.
but people will take these things of right and wrong and, you know, create kind of a not clear life of having a grounded moral compass.
Yes, of course. There is alignment and there is misalignment. And many people will have misunderstandings and misinterpretations of many of the concepts that we have discussed with all of you, because they are not necessarily as practiced as they could be and not necessarily as refined in their understanding of these concepts. In a sense, I'm going to put it in an old kind of colloquial way. Again, not meaning to be negative per se, but you'll understand it through this simple mnemonic. Many people know just enough metaphysics to be dangerous.
Yes.
When they arrive at a certain point of understanding, they think they know enough. They think they know it all. And therefore, a lot of their applications are misguided. They don't take the time to go more deeply into their understanding of how things actually work, and therefore they can be misled and be misleading to others and misinterpret many different kinds of things. So again, it's about either really truly being clear and having a deep understanding, a clear understanding of how things work, or not. But again, it's up to each individual to decide for themselves what they do and don't align with, and that's part of the experience and part of the process. So it also helps us determine who actually is ready and is not ready for contact. So that's okay.
Yes. And I have a lot of born again Christian friends, you
Yes.
know, that were from the new age, you know, and found Jesus and
Yes.
everything, and now they cast everything aside that is not Jesus. So everything is
Then they don't actually understand Jesus,
Mm,
because there have been many misinterpretations and misrepresentations and misunderstandings about what Jesus actually said and what he was all about, because a lot of the dialogue that came from him and others around him have been altered for the purposes of political power and certain kinds of gain, and therefore you don't really have an absolutely thoroughly accurate representation of what was really said at the time. Plus, in not understanding Jesus in the full capacity of his expression, then many people who purport to understand him or purport to believe in him actually have no understanding of the fact that he was presenting both a male and a female aspect in the Mary of the Magdalene. This is a couple. This is a male and female representation in balance, and many of the things that were actually talked about are extremely metaphysical and not exactly what the idea of the Christian belief system purports to be true.
mm, got it. So more, this is hard for me to ask, but more, okay, so more like how you've said the Magdalena things and more of the Essenian stuff and the Rosicrucian stuff is a little more core.
Even there are misinterpretations in those. It is more the pure idea of the understanding of the balance between male and female in the expression of Yeshua and Maria, or Miriam the Magdalene.
So more just the simplicity of harmony between the sexes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the idea of the understanding of both sides' connection in balance to all that is, and the expressions thereof, many of which are very familiar now to those who have listened to metaphysical concepts in your modern age. A lot of what was expressed that can be found in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene are actually very metaphysical concepts as you would recognize them in your modern age. Remember, she was his chief disciple.
Yes. Beautiful. So very, very simple. It almost connects to just yin and yang and the basics of proportion.
There is a book that exists on your planet that may be of assistance to you in understanding some of this. And it is a book that is called When God Had a Wife.
Mm.
Investigate that, and it will give you a lot of information about more accurate representations of the positions of male and female energy throughout your history. Much of it is not what you think because of what has been made of it and what has been left out and what has been corrupted.
When God
Had a wife.
Beautiful. Yes, I will look into that. Thank you, Bashar.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bashar. You helped me so much today. I truly appreciate you.
It is our passion and our pleasure and our deep appreciation to all of you as well. Good day.
Good day.
Hi Bashar, it's Tami from Israel. Can you tell us more about Yael and Pleiadians' world? Like how many hours do they sleep and what do they eat and how their structures looks like? What do they do in their daily lives? Thank you. I love you. Bye.
That's a lot of information. We will not be delivering all of that. However, both civilizations do not sleep much at all. And it depends upon what you call sleep, because they can make connections to their spirit selves in a more constant way than you do, and therefore don't need the idea of sleep in the same way that you do. They might even just drop into what you would call a meditative state temporarily, and it would accomplish the same thing that you're accomplishing by having many hours of sleep. So neither of them really sleep much in that sense. The idea, again, of food is that it is usually of a lighter quality, more of the idea of either juices or vegetables in that sense. And in their daily lives, it depends upon the individual. Some are creatively artistic, some are scientifically investigative, some have many different kinds of functions according to their passions. So in that sense, they have a lot of similarity, even though they have a lot of differences as well. For the Pleiadians are mostly your genetic cousins in the sense of being of assistance to you to move forward in your civilization in an exciting way that brings you closer together. Whereas the Yael are more specifically about introducing the hybrid children to your planet to begin the particular process of evolving into the sixth hybrid race.
Hello, hi Bashar, how are you?
Perfect, and you?
I'm great. Yeah, Bashar, so I have a question related to sacred circuits. So I wanted to know if tetraskelion, or the swastika symbol that was also used in the Nazi flag, with a circle in the center, a sacred circuit.
It is a sacred circuit, but on a higher level than we've delivered at this point. Understand that the swastika has been around for thousands of years and represents the idea of the flow of creative energy in the cosmos, in the universe. So yes, it's a sacred circuit that can help rewire the brain when focused on in a positive energy, in a positive state, to understand how to blend with and align with the creative energies of the universe, of all that is. But it has to be used that way. Obviously, the way the Nazis used it was a misunderstanding and a corruption of its original intention, which exists in many ancient civilizations, Tibetan, Native American, so on and so forth. They understood its original meaning and used it in its original way. So you can too, if you wish.
Okay, so is there a single word that we can associate with it?
A single word?
Yeah, like you have given for other sacred circuits.
Yes. Alignment with creation. It's not a single word, but it's a concept.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Bashar. And I also have a question related to the Anunnaki. So why was it out of integrity on part of the Anunnaki to create humans for their survival?
Because it was against their laws to do so.
Okay.
Because the idea of the creation, the injection of their genetic material to create a new species was simply not within the realm of their acceptable laws at the time, especially because they didn't necessarily guide those people correctly, where new Anunnaki had to come in to do so to make up for the mistakes that that group of Anunnaki that created Homo sapiens undertook. So they broke their laws in many different ways.
Okay.
Out of desperation.
Okay. And who was or what was Apep or Apophis that is said to have been attacking Ra, the ancient Egyptian god?
The idea of Apophis was simply the idea of the destructive principle.
Okay, so it was not an entity or some being.
Not in the way that you mean it, no. It's an archetypal energy that represents the energy of breaking things down, of destroying things so they can be rebuilt. Of course, there are many different interpretations that have happened on your planet.
Okay. And did the Sasquatch also have any incarnation connection to the ancient Orion system?
No.
Oh, okay. So they did not have any negative expressions of oppression or warfare.
They had their own pathway, but they do not share much of it with Homo sapiens.
Okay, so can we say, like, say the warfare and oppression is actually a genetic problem?
No. It's a training problem. It's a learning issue. It's a matter of happening into a system that has certain kinds of negative cycles associated with it in order for the purpose of overcoming them, of transforming them. But it's not really a genetic problem initially. It can embed itself in your genetics over time, but it doesn't originate because of the genetic structure.
Okay. And then you also mentioned that the Earth has a frequency of 7.85 hertz, and then Earth is also a world of cycles. So how does this frequency of 7.85 hertz cause the cyclic nature of the Earth?
It is the base cycle that encourages you to come back to alignment. The idea is that when the cycle becomes something other than that, when the frequency becomes something other than that, you can be going out of alignment and following the cycles of destruction. But by going back into alignment with the natural resonance of the earth, then you are bringing yourself back into alignment and thus allowing yourself to go beyond the original cycles that give you the opportunity to explore negativity and limitation.
Okay, Bashar. And can you share a vibrational phone number for Shambhala?
Shambhala, or Shangri-La, as some people refer to it, has a image that you can meditate on of 3 crystal spheres, one being pure white, one being soft blue, and one being soft pink.
Okay. In what shape, or?
In a triangle.
Okay, in a triangle.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then I think I will have the last question now. So, what is your definition of death, Bashar? And is there a way to have life review that we have after dying while we are alive?
Yes, you can experience some degree of life review while you are alive, but in most cases that would be pointless because you're still alive. Therefore, you wouldn't necessarily have a complete life review. You may get moments of it, flashes of it, that can help you align yourself. But in the idea of transitioning into spirit, when you are done with this particular experience, then it is more appropriate for you to have the entire life review, because then you can understand the relationship and the connections between every single moment of the actual physical life experience. But sometimes when people are in certain circumstances and they say, oh, my life flashed before my eyes, in some sense they are tapping into the idea of life review because they truly believe that at any moment they might die. But there are other circumstances where you can come to an understanding, a gestalt understanding of something, and tap into the idea of recognizing what something was all about in your life. But you will not necessarily have an entire life review unless you are either close to death or have actually died.
Okay, Bashar.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Bashar.
Good day.
Yeah, good day to you too. Bye.
Hi, Bashar. This is Karen from Belgium. I have learned to trust the signs that I get on my path, and there are a lot of signs that have to do with ancient Egypt. So I would like to know something more about ancient Egypt. What was the main energy frequency in ancient Egypt? Where did the inhabitants came from? And were there connections to Sirius or to Orion? Can you speak a bit more about this? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, there were many connections to Sirius and ancient Orion in being played out in many civilizations on your planet over time. As we have said, there are many stories that are the continuation from many different places that allow you to play them out and figure out how you would like them to conclude or move on by joining the Earth cycle of opportunity to explore those things. We're not sure what you're asking when you say what was the frequency of ancient Egypt, because you're talking about a combined frequency of many, many hundreds of thousands of different individuals. If you're looking for an overall representation of ancient Egypt as a resonant frequency, you could say that they were existing somewhere, depending on who was involved, in the neighborhood of about 60 to 70,000 up to 80,000 cycles per second. But again, it depends upon what era. It depends upon what their focus was at that particular time. It depends upon how many remnants of the Atlantean civilization they incorporated into their culture, and many other things. So we can't necessarily give you one particular frequency, but a range of frequencies from somewhere around 50 to 60 to 70 to 80,000 cycles per second, depending upon who was doing what in that culture at the time. Good day.
Hello. Hi, Bashar. How are you?
Perfect. And you?
Thank you very much. Good as well. Perfect.
Good.
As you are.
All right.
Bashar, I'm very happy to tell you that finally we have a result that prove that the devices that you describe are actually resonators.
Yes.
And we receive 10 times the amplitude of the input. We receive a resonant frequency 10 times greater. But we receive it with the cones that you describe, with the most primitive version.
That's why we gave you that basic form to begin with. It is the core of everything that you are exploring.
Yes, and the frequency that we have resonance is 80 kilohertz, but very interestingly, we have a secondary resonant frequency, which is 3 times higher.
Yes.
240 kilohertz. Again, the resonance is 10 times greater.
Yes.
What I would like to ask you is that we know that sometimes higher voltage does not mean a generation of power. How we can improve this? Is there anything else we can do to improve this? Because my passion is to explore the space-time fields and create the device.
And then explore it. You will discover what you need. We have given you enough so that you will have the momentum to use your own imagination, to explore what you need, to find what you need at this moment. You have enough to go on, as you have just discovered and as you have just stated. You're getting the results that you need to take you further.
And I would like to share with you that we have also result. I was listening to your words alone among the nature to get more information of what you have said already.
Yes.
And finally realized that the insulating plates of the anti-gravity device, they need to be not so wide. They need to be gaps very...
All right. Well, you see, that's exactly what we're saying. When you take it upon yourself to go into the places that you're attracted to go and go into the states that you're attracted to be in, you will get the information you need. It will be downloaded from many different sources, including us, but you have the ability now to do these things by putting yourself in the proper frame of mind, in the proper environment that is conducive to getting the information that you need. So you now have these abilities. You don't need us as much as you think you do.
Okay.
All right.
My last question is, because you say that some help from Sirius, is there any message or is there any particular permission slip I can using to connect?
Focus on the Mobius strip.
Mobius strip, like the loop, like infinity loop.
Yes. Focus on that in a meditative state. It will help you download the information that you need.
Any particular colors like blue and white and
we leave that up to you, but remember the colors of the signature of Sirius.
Yes, I just make a meditation on that.
All right. Thank you.
Bashar, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You are welcome.
We know that many of you get it when we say, follow your passion, act on your passion. And when you have heard others say, follow your bliss, act on your excitement, act on your passion, behave as if. We know that you believe you get that much. But at the same time, in many of the discussions we have had with many of you, we also hear the idea of putting your trust in negativity, of doubting yourself, and saying, well, I am doing my best to follow my passion, but it doesn't seem to be working. Well, I'm doing my best to do this, I'm doing my best to do that. Here's the key that we find, in a sense, is lacking from what the energy is that you're attempting to apply when attempting to follow your passion. It's all well and good to recognize that following your passion, when you recognize it, is the thing to do. But what you may not also understand the importance of is that you also, here it is, are you paying attention? The secret to the secret to the secret. Ears open wide. This is going to sound very simple, but it's very important. When you are acting on your passion, you must also be passionate about being passionate, which many of you are not. When you search for your passion, and then you find something, or you recognize the idea of looking around at any given moment for what excites you the most at that moment, and many of you make an attempt, many of you make an application, many of you do an act, there will still be, according to many of your belief systems, those moments when you go back into, when you choose to go back into many of your negative beliefs, many of your negative feelings, many of your negative thoughts, the things you don't prefer. And this is where it is most crucial to remember that you must also be passionate about being passionate in order to really allow your passion to work. And what this simply means is you don't ever give up. You, at any given moment that you feel yourself waning, look around and use your imagination and create for yourself in that moment an action and a behavior that will take you back into your passion. You must, in that sense, exhibit passion in order to create passion. This is how you bootstrap yourself up the vibrational ladder. To put it in another way, you have heard us say, you have heard them say, when you have a vision, when you have a dream, when you have a picture, when you have a visualization, act it out as best as you can. Do all the things as best as you can to allow yourself to create the frequency of the reality you prefer, even if it isn't literally, physically manifesting yet. This is the willingness to be passionate about being passionate, instead of choosing to feel the idea of the inertia tugging at you from the beliefs you don't prefer. The willingness to act differently regardless of the recognition that you have those beliefs. For example, when you see someone who is truly driven, truly passionate about something, about some career, about some reality, about some idea, you literally see that they are hungry for this manifestation. They are driven. They are obsessed with it. The idea is to become obsessed about being obsessed. To do the things themselves for their own sake of creating passion that will then allow you the opportunity to take that and create the vibrational state necessary to attract what you prefer. So, as we said, here's an example. You have now at your disposal, as we said, this tool called The Secret and many other tools. Doesn't have to be this, but it's readily available to you all in a very convenient form. So it can be this. But as an example, if you are sitting around looking at your life, looking to be passionate about something, and wondering how to be passionate about being passionate, the idea again to recognize is that when you see people who truly are passionate, they are driven at every level, at every stage. So, if it's really that important to you, if it's really that important to you, bless you. If it's really that important to you to create the reality you say you prefer, you will do what it takes. You will do anything. You will be hungry to create a vibration of passion within you all the time. Which means that if you have any kind of permission slip or tool available to you, you will use it as often as you can. You will inundate yourself with it until there can be no other thought, until there is no other choice. To put it in pragmatic terms, if you find yourself one day feeling that your energy is waning, listen, put on your headphones and listen to the secret again. If the next day you find your energy is waning, put on your headphones and listen to it again. And again, 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 until you get it. Until it sinks in, until it becomes second nature, until it becomes your first thought, until you don't think any other way. Inundate, immerse yourself in all the things that are of that nature, to the exclusion of all other techniques, all other offerings, all other tools. If you're really passionate about something, and passionate about being that passionate, you will do what it takes. You will allow yourself to be completely submerged and obsessed with the very idea of creating the state itself that is representative of the reality you prefer. Now, you don't have to do this. It's up to you. But what we are saying here now, and what we will be repeating throughout this particular transmission, is the recognition that whatever stage, whatever level of frequency, whatever level of commitment, whatever level of drive, whatever level of hunger you decide you choose to have for being passionate is completely what will determine the level of reflection you get, the level of effect you get. So if you say to yourself, I don't have to listen to that again. I already know it. Still not working for me. I'm still not happy. Still not getting the reality vibration. Still not creating the state of being I want. But I don't have to listen to that again. Then that's the state you will remain in. When you remember a time when you became passionate about something, anything, you couldn't get enough of it. Every day, every waking thought, you ate it, you drank it, you breathed it in. You looked for anything that had to do with that thing, to learn more, to feel more, to absorb more, to immerse yourself, surround yourself more with that idea. The idea is that in and of itself, that activity in and of itself of immersing yourself in a passionate state is paramount, is very important to the generation of attracting all the things that are then representative of that passion. So if you're not going to be passionate about being passionate, you are going to remove for yourself a very strong stepping stone, a very strong connective link to attracting the things themselves that are representative of your passion. Does this make sense to you? All right. Now we understand, and we know you understand, that even with this knowledge, there will still be portions of your mind, portions of your physical mind going, oh no, that's just too much. So be it. That's your choice.